Good morning, everyone. In our last class, we were discussing about testing definition. So we covered different topics like what is verification, what is validation, what is quality assurance, what is quality control, waterfall model, V model, differences between waterfall model, V model, static testing, dynamic testing, differences between verification and validation, differences between static testing and dynamic testing, differences between quality assurance and quality control, along with what is application, what is project, what is product, and life cycle model we were discussed. Then we have seen software quality assurance. So for all these set of questions, same example, whatever I have discussed yesterday, you can explain once you go for interview. So our next topic is software development lifecycle models. Before moving software development lifecycle models, anybody having any questions? So no questions means we'll go for software development lifecycle model. Okay, so there are so many lifecycle models you will come across in our IT industry. Those are nothing but waterfall model, V model, agile methodology, prototyping model, rapid application development model, fishbone model, and process expert store. These are the different models you will come across in our IT industry. Okay, so waterfall model, V model, agile methodology, fishbone model, spiral model, rapid application development model, prototyping model, and process expert store. In all these models, so the important models are nothing but like waterfall model and V model, agile methodology. Few years back, if you think about it, people were using waterfall model and V model mostly, but these days for 2 or 3 years, if you think about it, most of the clients preferring to go for agile methodology. Okay, so we'll be discussing right now waterfall model, V model, and fishbone model. Spiral model, rapid application development model, prototyping model are very old models during starting days of your IT industry people were implementing. So but we'll be discussing at the end of our manual testing. So initially what I'll be discussing is like waterfall model, V model, and fishbone model. Today's session will get cover these three models. Then we'll directly go for testing types. So even agile methodology also important, but still I will be discussing at the end of our manual testing. The reason behind this is by that time you will get clear understanding and process of your testing. So that's the reason it will be easy to understand at that point of time. Okay, so first we'll see waterfall model, V model, and fishbone model remaining later. First we go for waterfall model. So waterfall model, if we go for, so first you may be aware of life cycle model means different phases you will come across, like analysis, design, development, testing, release, and maintenance. These are the 5 phases you will come across. And my primary question is why I am putting like this, like analysis, then I'm putting design, not down. Okay, then next I'm putting. Okay, so what is the reason behind this? As you may aware of, in waterfall model, once analysis phase finish completely, then only you go for design. That means like business analysts gather all the requirements from client and they will prepare BRS and SRS. Once this task finish, then only architects come into picture and they will gather the requirements from BRS or business analyst team and come up with like high level design and low level design. Complete design of all those requirements architects will come up with. Once design completed, then developers gets involved and develop entire application. Once entire application implementation done, they will send it to testing for testing purpose. That means whatever the phase is going on, only those team members gets present, only those activities will be happening, other activities won't be happening. Okay, so that is the reason behind this coming up with all these phases like this. So how it looks like, how water falls, that is the reason this model you are considering it as like waterfall model. Okay, so the important thing you have to remember in waterfall model, whatever the phase is going on, only those team members gets present, all other team members don't want to present. Okay, so that is the purpose of like your waterfall model. So I could have discussed like there are so many life cycle models available, right? For all those models, all these phases whatever you are discussing, you will come across, but little bit modified way or customized way. Okay, so that is the reason all those models born from waterfall model. That is the reason waterfall model also you will consider it as like parent model or base model. Like whatever I am discussing like agile methodology or fishbone model or spiral model, rapid application development model, PT, whatever the model it is, all these phases, all these five phases whatever you are discussing here, you will come across but little bit modified way. That is the reason all those models born from waterfall model. That's why this waterfall model you'll consider it a like parent model. Also, you will consider it a like base model. Okay. So, what is analysis? What is design? What is development? That I mean, like each and every phase, I have explained in detail yesterday. I don't want to go for uh, in detail again, but very high level I see. So, during analysis phase, you may aware of like a business analyst gets involved. So, what those people will be doing is like gathering information from client and once they gather information from client, they'll make it as like two documents. Those are nothing but BRS and SRS. Okay, so then so in analysis phase, business analyst gets involved, and what those people will be doing is like gathering information from client and come up with two documents. Those are nothing but like BRS and SRS. Then in design phase, architect gets involved, so they will be analyzing the requirements and come up with complete design of entire application, like high level design and low level design they will come up with. Then these design documents development team refer, and how they come up with their development activities like they'll divide entire application into different modules into submodules into sub modules, like that they will divide, and smallest independent component they will take. They start with developing that component, then slowly integrating or enhancing entire application they will be coming up with. So that's how they develop. So once they develop entire application, they send you to testing team for testing purpose. Once you test, and if it works fine as expected as client requirements, then at the end of the like project phase, that means like we are at the ending days of 3 years, let us assume. So then you'll be releasing it to the customer. So this is what will be happening. This is nothing but like your waterfall model. So what is the strengths of waterfall model is like, as I said, whatever the phase is going on, only those team members gets present. That means like analysis is going on. Designers, developers, testers, not at all required. Development is going on. Analysts, architects, testing team not required. That means for company, it will get a chance to pay salaries to less number of resources. So that's the reason it's very cheap model for the companies to follow. And you are entering freshly into the organization, so it will provide you clear picture like how your IT industry works. That is another advantage of like your waterfall model, and anybody can understand very easily this waterfall model. Okay, so and another thing is like, uh, if requirements are stable, then only you go for waterfall model. So you're preferring to go for like waterfall model means that application requirements sets stable. So if you have stable requirements, it's very easy to develop, easy to maintain. Okay, so that is another major advantage of like your waterfall model. So very cheap model for the companies to follow, easy to understand, and even very easy to use for entry level people. It will provide you clear structure process about your organization. Recommends is very stable, and yeah, recommends are stable. It's very easy to plan or staffing or track. Everything will be very easy. These are the advantages of your waterfall model. But disadvantages like, major disadvantage is testing will be happening only in testing phase. If you remember, yesterday I'm talking about one situation. Let us suppose C module get missed out. Then what is your situation? You have to go back to analysis and design development. That means like repetitive task needs to be done. That is a major drawback of waterfall model. Okay, and another drawback is like, if requirements are stable, then only you go for waterfall model. But today IT industry, if you think about it like, okay, today IT industry, it's like not at all stable, right? So each and every requirement will be dynamic. So today whatever the system you are available, so tomorrow you may not see, may not be available, right? So that is the major drawback of your waterfall model. Okay, so and that means like if requirements are stable, then only you go for waterfall model. But that's the reason today IT industry may not be the best suit to go for waterfall model. And costly in case if something is wrong. Okay, so waterfall model is too costly in case something is wrong. So these all are the, and another important drawback of waterfall model is like, as you may aware of, if you are doing waterfall model, client will give you requirements, you will develop entire requirements. At the end of the project only, you will be delivering that project to client. So that means like after 3 years or after 1 year or 2 years only. See, after 3 years, your client received project. He may look like, yeah, as soon as he see that project, he may feel like, oh, this is very simple application. Why these guys have taken this much time? But really, your application very high level may seem like very easy. But internally, even though your code is perfect or something is good, but still you may face so many issues like environment issues or so many other issues. Until and unless client see, then only they can realize, otherwise they cannot really. So, and another thing is like, client will give his requirements, their requirements, their understanding is different, and we understand in some another different way. So if that is the situation, once they see project, again They may not satisfy with that project, and again come back to you like, oh, this is not we expected. We were expecting something else, but you were misunderstood and you done something. These kind of situations may occur. That is a major drawback of like your waterfall model. Okay, so these are the major drawbacks of your waterfall model. So to overcome the drawbacks of waterfall model, V model comes into picture. Okay, so our next model is like V model. So the major difference between waterfall model and V model is like, in waterfall model, whatever the phase is going on, only those team members gets present. But in V model, one project you take, what are the major teams? Development and testing. Okay, so both development and testing activities will be going on parallelly. In V model, both development and testing activities will be going on parallelly. That means all team members will get present in all the phases. That is what happens in our V model. Okay, so you will come across different phases, right? Like info gathering phase. Also, you can consider it like analysis phase. Normally, in analysis phase, who will involve? Business analyst gets involved. So, what is their primary role? They will be gathering requirements from client and come up with two documents. Those are nothing but like PRS and SRS. That is what they do. Left side primarily. So but in waterfall model, testing won't be happening. But in V model, as soon as they prepare BRS as well as SRS, those documents needs to be tested, right? So another side, those documents needs to be tested. So that is nothing but like requirement phase testing. That is what you're seeing like here, requirement phase testing. So what do you mean by requirement phase testing, and what they will test and who will test? If you think about it like, before that, one important thing, whatever the team it is, in your IT company, how people frame is like, freshers, more number of resources like 5 or 6. Software engineers, that means like 1 or 2 years experience who is having. So 2 or 3 resources they will maintain. Then senior software engineers is having 3 years or 4 years. 1 or 2 senior software engineer, then team lead who is having 6 years or 7 years of experience. Okay, so like that they will frame. Remember, this one applicable not only for like development or testing, applicable for whole teams, like development team or testing team or business analyst or design team or architects or whatever the team it is. Okay, people try to frame like this. So freshers means less salary, so more number of resources, you're getting increment. Then project manager, project manager for one project, senior project manager for multiple projects. Like that people use it to maintain. Okay, so so any team if you take, freshers will be there and experienced will be there. So who is having less experience, those people will be gathering requirements and come up with like BRS as well as SRS. And as I said, experience will be there, right? Senior people, those people will get involved in review. So review, and they will give their comments, they will approve. So that is nothing but like your requirement phase testing. Okay, so business analysts what they do is like, who is having less experience, they'll gather requirements from client and come up with BRS and SRS one side, and another side who is having pretty good experience, those people will review those documents and approve. That is nothing but like requirement phase testing. Then developers, testers also gets involved in analysis phase. So what development team and testers will be doing? So Development team, they will be coming up with their development activities plan. So who will be doing what, which are the which are the requirements you are having. So how exactly you're going to develop those requirements, who will be taking care of what, so when and how much time it will require for developing entire application. By considering all these factors, they will be coming up with a development plan. Testers also gets involved. So what testing team will be doing? So they will be coming up with the testing activities plan. We'll come across actually test management. Under that, we'll be coming up with like test policy, test strategy, test methodology, and test plan. So there, I'll be telling you exactly like what is test plan. Okay. So as of now, you remember developers will be coming up with development plan. Testing team will be coming up with test plan. That is more than enough. Okay. So this is nothing but like your analysis phase. Then you go for like design. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so and coding also I mentioned here. So design and coding. My primary question is like why I mentioned both here only, like design and development. The reason behind this is like for most of the projects, development team themselves play architect's role, who is having more experience in development, like 10 years or something like that, or 5 years or 7 years or something, depends on project. So mostly they themselves play architect's role. That's the reason I put both design and development in one phase. So design, if you go for, architects gets involved and they will be coming up with high level design and low level design. Okay, so left side they will be coming up with like high level design and low level design. Once they come up with these documents, those architectural documents needs to be verified, right? So that is nothing but like right side you're seeing here like design phase testing. Okay, design phase testing, whatever the architectural documents they come up with, all those are perfect or not, are fine or not, are covered, all requirements or not. By considering all these factors, these people will be reviewed. That means again, who is having pretty good experience in architecture or design, those people will be reviewed. So that is nothing but like architects design. Then development team gets involved and they will be sharing the modules among themselves and start implementing the application. That means like coming up with coding. That is nothing but like development left side. As you're aware of like in your studies time you could have come across, once you come up with code, you yourself try to test your code. Exactly, here also it will happen. So once development team come up with their code, they themselves try to test their code, not in detail. This is what you have to remember. If they are testing everything, then your job itself, your role itself not required. Really, right? So they themselves try to test their code very high level. That is what you're saying like program based testing. The program based testing you will call it a like white box testing. The program based testing you are considering it a like white box testing. Yes or no? So once developers come up with the code, they themselves test their code. That kind of testing you will call it a like white box testing. That is what you remember. Our next class tomorrow I'll be discussing like white box testing. So what exactly white box testing? What exactly black box testing? In detail, I'll be explaining in my next class. So as of now, you remember this is the one. Okay. So that is nothing but like white box testing. And in this phase, testing team also gets involved, right? So what testing team will be doing? Those people will be coming up with creating test cases. Okay, so these people will be coming up with creating test cases. Again, what is test case? Later you will get to know. Okay, so as of now you remember testers will be coming up with creating test cases while developers are coming up with their code. That is what you remember. Okay, so that is nothing but like your design and development phase. So then once they come up with code, they will be making it as like build. That build they will be sending it to deployment team. Deployment team deploys that application, sending it to email like testing team to test to start the testing activities. So once you get an email from development team, you start up with your testing activities, right? So that is nothing but like functional testing. Also, you will consider it like black box testing. Also, you will consider it like black box testing. While doing again black box testing tomorrow I'll be discussing, so you'll get understand very clearly. Yeah, as of now, test us which kind of testing you are performing. That is what you will consider it like black box testing. That is what you remember. Okay. So while testing, if you find any of the issues, you'll be reporting those issues to development team. Again, how you will report? There is a some process. There is a some structure. There is a some standard. Okay, so that is what you will get to know later. So as of now, you remember. So while testing the application, if you find any mismatches, you'll be reporting those issues to development team. Developers will be fixing, again resending it to you for testing. So you'll test again if you come across any issues, resubmitting those issues to development team. So these two cycles in between development team and testing team will be happening until whole application gets ready. Then once whole application gets ready, you're at the ending days of uh, your 3 years of time, or whatever the agreement you have made. So then you'll be releasing it to the customer. So before releasing it to the customer, in company environment, you'll install whole application and test. That is nothing but like alpha testing. Then you go client environment, means like exactly which kind of environment they are going to use this application. There you go, install and test. That is nothing but like beta testing. Then it will go for like maintenance. So maintenance means installation testing. Also, you will consider like port testing, then software changes, test efficiency, and defect removal efficiency. This is what I will explain you like once whole of our testing done. So as of now, it's a little bit hard to understand what is test efficiency, test software changes, or defect removal efficiency. Okay, so this is nothing but like your V model. The primary thing you have to remember in V model is development and testing activities will be going on parallelly. Okay. So and another thing is like all team members gets present in all the phases. That is what will be happening in your V model. So V model also you can show another way. So requirement system this is what very high level again. So this is what you can say like refinement form of V model. But this is what you may not understand clearly. So once you finish our manual testing or something like that, you will understand clearly. So at that time, I will explain it once again. You simply ignore. Then strengths and weaknesses, mostly what are the advantages and disadvantages you will come across for waterfall model. Same strengths and weaknesses you will get for V model also, except one or two. Those are nothing but like in V model, the major advantage is like both the development and testing activities will be happening parallelly. So wherever error is occurring, there itself you will be finding out. That is the advantage of like V model. Immediately you will correct. Then verification and validation will be going parallelly, easy to follow, easy to maintain due to stable requirements. Even V model also you have to go for means if your priority is having stable requirement, then only you go for V model. Okay, otherwise you cannot go for V model. Okay, so these are the advantages of your V model. Does not contain any risk activities by means you are having stable requirements, so you don't want to take any risk, right? So the disadvantage if we go for means it's costly model for the company to follow. Why? Whole team members gets present in all the phases. So that means all team members gets present in all the phases from starting position to ending stage. So company may get a chance to play or to pay salaries to more number of resources. So that is a major drawback of your vim. Okay, and even for this one v model also, like before starting up the project we should be having all requirements. Okay, so these are the drawbacks of your V model. Oh, Okay, so this is nothing but like waterfall model and V model. Then you will come up with like another model, that is nothing but like software testing life cycle. Okay, so this is what software testing life software testing life cycle. Also you will consider it like STLC. Okay, so in V model, what you are discussing is like at exactly each and every phase what you will be doing. That is what you are discussing. Majorly development and testing. But how exactly you are testing? That is what you are not discussing. But in software testing lifecycle, and remember another important thing, software testing lifecycle means in your development lifecycle, what are the phases you will come across? Analysis, design, development, testing. In each and every phase, how you will be testing? What are the testing activities you are going on? How you will be testing? That is what you will be discussing in your software testing lifecycle. And remember, in software testing lifecycle you are discussing means development lifecycle also gets involved. You are covering. Okay, so this is nothing but like software testing lifecycle looks like this. So analysis, design, development, testing, you will come across like upper side, downside. During analysis phase, who will involve? Business analyst gets involved. So those people will be coming up with like two types of documents. Those are nothing but like BRS and SRS. So BRS is nothing but like business requirement specification. SRS is nothing but software requirement specification. So then once they come up with how they get it, they will test this BRS and SRS. Remember another important thing, in your IT industry, whatever you're going to implement is entirely new stuff. Simply I have to say means like R&D, research and development, right? See, if you take your studies time, your teachers or lecturers, whole their life they will be discussing same stories again and again. In case if they get syllabus change or something like that, how they will come across? One chapter or within a chapter one topic, irrespective of but it's not applicable for again software. Once your software comes up, languages or something, so many stuff it will come across. Okay, but normally means other skill set if you talk about, that is the thing. But in your IT industry that is not the situation. Okay, entirely you're going to develop new stuff. So that's why whatever the simple stuff it is, you're developing something means it needs to be reviewed by somebody else. Definitely 100%, there is no doubt. Okay, it needs to be reviewed by somebody else. So that review, how many ways you can do is like uh, you are doing something, your colleague may get reviewed. If it's reviewed by your colleague, that is what you can consider it like review. Reviews are of two types again, peer reviews and TL reviews. Peer review, PEER, peer review means it will get reviewed by your colleague. Sometimes what will happen is like here your colleague means your immediate colleague or software engineer or senior software engineer. TL review means your TL may get review some point of time. That is nothing but like TL review. Okay, that is nothing but like TL review. So that is nothing but like a review. Third one you are saying like reviews, walkthroughs, inspections, desk checking. So first one is review. Review is of like two types, TL review and peer review. And next, what is the thing is like walkthrough. Walkthrough normally who will do is like your project manager. Who is boss for any of the project? Project manager, right? So manager is the boss. So what he will be doing is like he is having responsibility of like how many developers require, how many testers require, he will estimate, and he will be recruiting all developers and testers. Once he recruit, what he will be doing is like he will be assigning roles and responsibilities to each and every team member. Roles and responsibilities to each and every team member. So once he assign roles and responsibilities, what he will do is like he have to track daily how each and every member is working or is performing his daily activities, whether all are working properly or not, all are performing their activities correctly or not, which type of issues they are facing. You are working for any project means you'll be definitely facing so many issues daily. So which type of issues their team members are facing, how they are resolving, still having any unresolved issues. Right manager is the right guy to guide how to resolve, or right person to resolve. Okay, so this kind of thing your project manager will be taking care. So each and every team member, how he's performing his activities, in case if they are facing issues, how they are resolving, still having unresolved issues means he will find out right person or find out right process for resolving those issues. Correct resolution he may pass it on. These kind of things he will be taking care. So that is nothing but like walkthrough. Okay, that is also one kind of review, right? That is also one kind of review. That is nothing but like walkthrough. Then inspections. Normally inspections who will do is like your uh, client people, clients. Okay, so clients, they may visit your office, may review, or another way online conferences also they may review. But remember, in all of these reviews, which one is better one, which is the best one? Client review. Why means he is going to use that application, right? So he is having very clear picture about what exactly he wants. So that's why if something is going wrong, he is the right person to find out and guide you. Okay, so that is nothing but like inspections. Desk check. Normally desk checking is nothing but like every week all of the team members set up some meeting and meet somewhere and discuss about like which are the activities he performed this week, which are the activities he performed for that week. So, which type of issues he faced, how he resolved those issues. Still having any unresolved issues means, okay, he may seek help from other team members. That is what uh, each and every team member will be discussing. So, what is the advantage of this one? See, here everybody discussing about like issue and resolution. So tomorrow somebody else may come across same kind of issue. At the time, he is getting aware of like how he can resolve. That is the advantage of like disk checking. Okay, so remember another important thing. If it is waterfall model you are following, all developers they will meet separately and testers will meet separately. Another important thing you have to remember, if all team members are sitting at one office, one location, like one city, in Bangalore only or in New York only, so all set up in some conference room and meet. But some team members in India, some team members in US, some team members in China. If that is the case, they will set up some conference call and discuss whatever is applicable. Like that, they will meet and discuss. So that is nothing but like desk checking. Okay, so this is nothing but like analysis phase. Then it will go for like design. In design, who will get involved? Architects gets involved, and they will be coming up with like uh, high level design as well as low level design. Okay, so even here also remember review means BRS and SRS document also needs to be reviewed, or architectural documents also reviewed, code also they may get reviewed. Like that, review will be happening at each and every phase. Purpose is same, but the stage is getting varying. Okay, so document is getting varying. That is what you have to remember. So during design phase also, I mean to say here like walkthroughs, inspections, review meeting, and desk checking will come across. Same four type of reviews you will come across. Along with that one more you will come up with. That is nothing but like prototype. What do you mean by prototype? Some CM or PM visiting your location letters also. So that district collector or that location high authority, what they do, they'll come up with like what are the development activities done, they'll come up in the form of like PPT, right? Prototype. Exactly like that. High level design and low level design, if you take, how they come up is like PowerPoint presentation. In the form of PPT, they will come up with. That's the reason you are calling it a like prototype. Okay. So once they come up high level design and low level design in the form of PPT, those prototypes needs to be verified, right? Needs to be reviewed. That is the reason we are calling it as here like prototype review. During design phase, high level design and low level design, how they come up is like prototype. So that prototype needs to be verified. That is the reason we are calling it a like prototype verification. Then development. Developers get involved and they'll be coming up with their code. Okay, so that code, how many ways they once they come up with code, they themselves will be testing their code, right? So that is nothing but like white box testing. Exactly. Then once they develop their code, they'll be sending it to testing team for testing purpose. So once they receive testing team from development team, they start with testing activities. That kind of testing you will be calling it a like black box testing. These two activities like development and testing activities will be repeatedly happening until whole application gets ready. Then you'll go for like alpha testing and beta testing. In company environment, you'll be installing whole application and test. That is nothing but like alpha testing. Then you'll go to client environment. There you'll install whole application and test. That is nothing but like beta testing. Then once you go for like beta testing, it will go for maintenance. Okay, so this is the kind of testing will be happening. So that is nothing but you'll call it a like software testing lifecycle, short form STLC. How this model looks like fishbone, right? That is the reason software testing lifecycle also you can consider like fishbone model. Remember, 100% damn sure question. So what is the STLC you are following? You don't want to get confused. STLC means you draw this diagram and explain. However, I explained. Okay, don't want to get confused. Okay, so testing life cycle or fishbone model means this is the one you can explain. V model and software testing life cycle. So V model, normally the thing is like even these days also so many companies were using, but 2 or 3 years back means complete projects. 99% of the projects were using like V model. But even these days also most of the project, most of the clients are using. But so many clients these days turning it into like Agile methodology. So what is the reason? Why? That is what you will get understand during like Agile methodology. Okay. So apart from that, anybody having any questions? Anybody? Uh, no questions means what I do is like we'll end up our session. Thank you so much for your time. So tomorrow same time we'll meet up again. Okay. Okay, that's me. Thanks for your time. See you and bye. Good night.